This video illustrates one method for sending a document to be digitally signed using Nintex AssureSign in Nintex Workflow Cloud. For example, a job applicant completes a personal information form, which starts a workflow that gets a PDF file from Microsoft OneDrive and then sends that file to the job applicant to be signed using Nintex AssureSign. Let's use the following scenario for a better understanding. You work in human resources and are responsible for getting job applicants to sign a non-disclosure agreement before their interview. You create a non-disclosure document and save it to your OneDrive as a PDF. The job applicants submit a form with their details, which starts a workflow that uploads the NDA PDF. This then uses a Nintex AssureSign Get a signature action that sends an email to the employee with instructions on signing the PDF. For the following scenario, you create a generic PDF document of the non-disclosure agreement and then use the PDF to create a Nintex AssureSign template. You add signature, date, and text jot blocks. In Nintex Workflow Cloud, you then create a form to capture job applicant details. The final component is using a workflow that contains an action to upload the PDF from OneDrive and an action to get the signature. Now, let's set this up in Nintex AssureSign and Nintex Workflow Cloud. Create an NDA.pdf using the tooling of your choice, such as Microsoft Word. Then, launch Nintex AssureSign. From the home screen, select View Templates, Simple Setup. Now click the plus Create Template button. Specify a template name and template description, then click Continue. In this scenario, we named it Basic Template. In the Template Designer, upload your NDA.pdf by dragging and dropping it into the Files area or using the Upload dialog. Leave the Allow the document to be replaced when template is used checkbox activated, then click OK. Click Add Signer. Drag and drop a signature jot block onto the PDF where the job applicant must sign. Drag and drop a text jot block where the job applicant must print their name. Drag and drop a date jot block onto the PDF where the date of the job applicant's signing must be captured. Your document should look similar to this. Click Close to save and exit your template, which is found in the bottom right corner of your screen. Next, create a form in Nintex Workflow Cloud that captures the job applicant's information. In this example, we create a simple form with first and last name, email, and address fields. In Nintex Workflow Cloud, create a new workflow. In the Start Event dialog, select Form from the Nintex list. Click Design Form to create a new form for this workflow. In the Form Designer, drag and drop a text short field onto the page. Change the text field title to First Name and change the required selector to Yes. Then, drag and drop a text short field onto the page. Change the text field title to Last Name and change the required selector to Yes. Next, drag and drop an email field onto the page. Change the email field title to Applicant's email address and change the required selector to Yes. Now, drag and drop another text short field onto the page. Change this field's title to Applicant's address, and you will also want to change the required selector to Yes. Click Apply Changes to complete the creation of the form. In the Start Event Form panel, change the Give Access to selection to anyone with the form URL. We will then add a Microsoft OneDrive for Business Get a file action to your Nintex Workflow Cloud workflow that uploads the NDA.pdf. Please note that the PDF file is used in the Get a Signature action and will overwrite the document in the Nintex AssureSign template. This means that you can update the non-disclosure agreement if needed, and the new version will be sent the next time the job application form is completed. In your Nintex Workflow Cloud workflow, drag and drop a Microsoft OneDrive for Business Get a file action. Configure the connection to your OneDrive account. Click in the Path field and navigate to where your NDA.pdf is stored. In the Store Output field, create a new file variable called NDA document. From here, we will add a Get a Signature action and configure it to use the NDA.pdf from the previous step. Now we will add a Nintex AssureSign Get a Signature action. Configure the Get a Signature action to use the template created in previously and assign the uploaded NDA.pdf file variable as the document with the first name, last name, and email variables from the starting form used as signer details. From the Action toolbox, Nintex AssureSign node, drag Get a Signature action below the Get a File action. Then select the Get a Signature action to load the action panel. If you have not done so already, you will need to configure your Nintex AssureSign connection. Please view the additional how-to videos on creating an AssureSign connection if necessary. Once configured, select the basic template from the template dropdown. Next, insert the NDA document file variable into the document field. Insert the first name and last name variables from the start event form variables into the signer details name field and insert the applicant's email address variable into the email field. There are no other fields to configure. Click Saved to save the workflow. Lastly, let's test the workflow. After saving the workflow, we can test it by using the Workflow Testing option. Click the Workflow Testing button. Type your first name and last name. Then, type your email address and your postal address and click Submit. The Workflow Testing dialog then shows the progress of the actions of the workflow. The Get a File action shows as complete. Then, the Get a Signature action starts and then enters a waiting state. The email from Nintex AssureSign should then arrive in your mailbox. Click the Begin Signing, click the Review and Sign link to continue. Agree to the terms and conditions and click Start Signing. Select your signature style and then create your signature. Click Adopt Signature to continue. Apply your signature to the document. Then enter your name for the print name area and click Continue. Enter the current date, then click Continue. Click Finish to conclude the signing of the document. You can download the document to make sure that the signature, date, and printed name are displayed correctly. In summary, you can send a PDF out for digital signing using the Nintex Workflow Cloud, Nintex AssureSign, Get a Signature action. In this video, you created a job applicant personal information form, which started a workflow that gets a PDF file from Microsoft OneDrive and then sends that file to the job applicant to be signed using Nintex AssureSign.